Hi, everybody. How are all of you doing? I hope you all are having a great day today. So, today I'm going to, hold on just one second. My neighbor just mowed. So, sorry if I have a little bit of the stiffles or if you hear little scratches at my door. Unfortunately, Steve's not home, so he can't help with any of that right now. But that's okay. We'll get through it. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a macrame project, and it can be used to make a mirror, make a wreath, make anything you want with it. Um, but you can also just put it down to a smaller scale and use the exact same pattern, the exact same everything to make pendants for jewelry, either earrings or whatnot. Um, Hold on one moment. We have a pet situation. They're fine. Okay. You can turn it down to a pendant or maybe even a pair of earrings. So I hope you guys are all excited. Seeing who's here. Brandy's here. Hey, hon. She's going to be helping me out in the comments, you guys, trying to answer any questions I might not see because I'm doing the project, whichever. Hi, Kim. Hi, Chris. I'm so glad you guys could be here. We should have a few more coming along. So I'm going to start just with some very basic macrame stuff. And if I have to step away from my desk to shoo the dogs out, I'll let you know, but they should be okay. So one of the most tedious parts of any macrame project is cutting the cords because for many, many years, and I still know people who do this, they will set up a tape measure and measure out one cord, and then depending upon the length they need, they either use the first cord to make several, or if that's too much, then they just go ahead and they measure out cord by cord by cord. I got tired of doing that, got tired of having to do it the difficult way and cut each one out. And so I went looking for solutions, and I have an idea for a really good solution. I wish that I knew somebody in production so that I could get it out of here and onto the market because I think that it would be a very popular design for fiber artists, whether it be crochet, knitting, macrame, anything like that, because even in crochet, there are times that you have to cut a length of cord, whatever. So, what I did find in the meantime is I did find quilting blocks. They have these in a multitude of different sizes and measurements. So this one is 12 inches by 6 inches. I have ones that are 15 inches by 15-inch square. And then I have a long version of this that is 24 inches long. So with that being said, this one square right here that is 12 by 6, you can obviously turn it this way, wrap just to get 12 inches. Or if you need a 6-inch cord, you could wrap it this way and then cut it in half. But I prefer to do it from the long ways. That way, as it goes around, you have 24 inches that can then be cut down to 12, that can then be cut down to 6, and so on and so forth, which makes it much faster and much easier. Unless you've only got a few cords to cut, guys, I highly recommend using your largest measuring device that you can find in order to make as few cuts as you need to. So if you need 6-inch cords, I recommend wrapping it all the way around several times, then cut it off the board by cutting in the middle. I like to use my sewing clips, and I will clip the cord to the central part of my quilting block. Um, and then I'll wrap, and then the first cut I make is here across the middle because I found it was much harder to try to cut up at the end because that's where it's pulled over. So then, and then you cut there, and then you can cut it in half, and then in half again if you only need 6-inch cords. For the 15-inch, obviously you can get 15, 30, 7 or 15, 30, 7.5, etc. Also, if you have to get a measurement that is not a perfect divisible amount by any one of the lengths of your blocks, say you need a 8-foot cord. Take it, wrap it around your 24-inch quilting block twice, and cut it. It's more tedious, but it's much less tedious than it would be if you were to have to measure it out the long way every single time. Sorry, my neighbors are a little rude. Than having to measure out 8 feet all by itself. Just like if you need 5-foot cords, wrap it around the 15-inch block twice. That's why I got the 15-inch block, because I needed that 60-inch measurement for a lot of my projects. So it came in handy. Like I said, I've had an idea for 5 or 6 years now up here, and I just don't know anybody that can help me get it from an idea in my head out into the actual market. But so if anybody in production or design, stuff like that, please let me know. I would really like to get it out there because I think it's a great idea. But so today we are going to start, and I'm going to show you how to make a mandala that you can then put a mirror behind, and you can mount those onto rounds, to wood rounds. And those come in a multitude of sizes, all the way from as small as 3-inch, which they use for like ornaments and things, all the way up. I have rings that are my largest rings I get hula hoops for my really, really big projects. Those are the best bet to go. Oh, good, Kim. I'm glad to hear that. She says she has a lot of quilting tools. Yeah, they're great. And it really is the easiest way. I'm telling you, this is much faster. And I get to the point where I'm just be careful when you're wrapping it because it will bow. So if you get it tight, and you would think, oh, it's not going to take too much length off, but if you have it bowed too much, you can lose up to 3 inches of cord off of your measurement. So hi, Beth. Hi, Rosanna. Glad you guys could make it. I'm just talking about how I use quilting cords or boards in order to cut my macrame cords, and that I really like it. I'll just go over real quick. This is a 12-inch one. If you wrap it around completely, that's 24 inches. That can then be cut down to 12. That can be cut down to 6, and could even go as far as 3 inches, though I don't know anything you'd only use 3 inches for. I also have 15 by 15, which I like to use for when I have to cut 60-inch cords, 5-foot cords, things like that. And I have one that is this size, only it is 24 inches long, which gives me, 48 down to 24, 12, 6, etc. So those are the best bet right now that you have out there as far as cutting the cord. So what we're going to do today, this is the mandala project that I'm going to show you how to do. I'm going to show you on a larger ring because to do it with this small of a ring would be very difficult for you guys to see. So I'm going to do it on a slightly larger one, but you can turn the slightly larger one, like I said, into a mirror. You can turn it into a picture frame. You can put it at the base of a lamp. There are so many different things that you can do with macrame. You can take it, you can make a sun catcher using this. There's several different things. So I'm really excited. You can turn it into a lampshade. I'm doing one for my granddaughter's nursery right now. I'm making a lampshade for in her room out of macrame cord. So it'll be great. Yeah, thank you. I got it because it looks like a sun. I made it in this color specifically because that's what I wanted. That's what I was going for because I made this and it's going to become a full project soon. But yeah. So for the project, there are 2 lengths of cord that we're going to need, and that is the 24-inch length, and then we're going to need the, well, no, because I cut, 24 inches, and then the 15-inch length. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the camera over, you guys, and the easiest way for me to show you how this works is to have it hanging over my desk just slightly, so that I can get the cords on properly. But so this is the first time I've done a macrame project on camera, so there might be a little trial and error going on here, but let's see here. Okay, so this right here is just 4 cord tiles that are 12 inches by 12 inches that I glued together, and then I covered with upholstery grade fabric. I like to do that because even if I have to poke holes in, which I will to keep things in place, I'm going to use these little flag pins. Sorry, I got used to where the camera was, and then I'd switch it. Flag pins to hold it down. You can also use binder clips. You can use oh my goodness, guys, the board with the clip at the top. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. When I'm doing a bigger project, clipboard, that's what it's called. The board with the clip at the top. Sorry about that. When I'm doing a bigger project, I clamp my ring right directly to my desk so that it is hanging over like this, and I'm able to go and macrame around it. So in this instance, at least to start, if it gets to be too much, then I will clip it to this board. But we're going to start with the 24-inch lengths. And this is the first time I've made this size, so I don't know the exact number of cords. But for the large motifs, you're going to use 6.5 cords, and I'll explain that in just a second. And then you're going to need 2 or 2.5, 4.5 cords for each of the others. So we're going to start just by attaching these to our rings with the lark's head knot. So you're just going to drop it down through the cord, take the cord up and around, and you're going to get a lark's head knot. And you're going to do that, and we're going to start with just the first 6 of them at first, and then we'll add the other ones as we get going. I had originally had this project. I was going to do the entire project, have it all ready for the tutorial itself. And then I realized how many cords that would be, and they would all get in the way and be hanging over. And I was afraid you guys weren't going to be able to see me knotting. So I pivoted and grabbed a smaller ring. Now, this ring in specific, I don't have a mirror small enough to put on this. So I'll just hold it over the wood round and kind of show it to you, and you guys can see it. And it looks like these flag pins are going to give me grief. They're great. But I have found that I like the work to be more secure in order to be clamped. So once you have your 6 cords on, just separate out the outer 2 cords. And then you're going to come in, and what you're going to want to do is we are going to finish off all of our triangle motifs in one direction. So what I recommend is that you always, once you start, you have to keep doing that. Otherwise your petals will not look uniform and it won't look right. So I like to start on my left-hand side and finish with my right. So you're just going to take the outside cord, you're going to cross it over the inside cord over, behind, and through the loop. And these are double half hitch knots or double clove knots. And this is the same knot that I used for the leather knotting series that I did on the Campbell Creators Facebook page. It's the exact same knot. I figured that it would be good to start with one that I've already shown you guys so that it wasn't a completely foreign skill. So, and then you're going to do that a second time. And I recommend leaving, like, you don't want to pull these really tight. I will tell you, you don't, because if you do, then as you go out, they're going to be so tight and they're either going to want to curl up or they're going to want to curl under. So that's not a good look, and it will not sit on the wall properly and it's no good. So then go over to the other side, take the outside cord and cross it over, go over, under, and through the loop once and then twice. That's why they're called double half hitch knots. And then you're going to pull the end of the cord, the first cord that we did, and you're going to do another half hitch knot. And I'm going to teach you guys something. I don't like the triangles that are very pointy. So when I go to do my second one, I always pull up from underneath, and then it gives me more of a rounded triangle shape. If you want the pointier triangle shapes, by all means, feel free to do so. This is just an aesthetic thing for me. It's nothing else. So, and I would recommend that every time I say the word knot, you take a drink, but you guys would be able to finish the project by the end of this video. Let me tell you that much. So then we're going to pull the next cord over and we're going to take the inside cord, and that's going to be our lead cord. Something I forgot to say, you want to hold your lead cord where you want those knots to go. So next time I'm going to show you a like half circle, like a semicircle design, and it's very important when you do that one. So we're just going to take the inside cord, and then we're going to take the first cord from the ones we didn't use, and I'm just going to put this up just to keep it out of the way, and you're going to go over, under, and through the loop, and then you're going to pull it up, and again over, under, through the loop. And you'll see I'm doing this with my thumb because that is a way to like tighten up the knot a little bit without making it tight, just to get the uniform shape of the knot itself. And then we'll grab the next cord and we'll do it again. And then we'll go back to the other side. We'll pull over the second of the 6 cords we put on. Put that up so you guys, it's not confusing. We're just going to take that cord and it's going to go over. And we're going to use the first cord, over, under, and knot, over, under, and through the loop. Go to the second cord, and we're going to go over, under, through the loop, over, under, and through the loop. And then we're going to grab the cord that we used as our working cord here, and it's going to help us tie off the end of our second pass. And again, I like more rounded triangles, so I pull that under more instead of just out. Okay, now on the third one, we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to learn a new skill. So you're going to pull the outside cord, and that's going to be our leader cord this time. And we're going to do the first half hitch knot like we've done all the rest of them. And then you'll kind of notice, see how there's a bit of a gap right here? We have to take one of our shorter cords, the 15-inch lengths, and we're going to tie it onto here using a reverse lark's head knot, which just means that instead of going like through this way, which would put the cord there, we're going to go the opposite of that. So we're going to go over, under, and then we're going to pull these cords up and through. And then you're going to pull them up. These are the only cords that I tend to tighten up just a little bit, because if you don't, we're essentially adding 2 knots into the pass. So if you don't, then they'll get loose and it makes it a little bit harder. So then we're going to go to the next cord and we're going to do the double half hitch knot. Also, this, you'll see that I'm pulling this at more of, instead of just a straight line, I'm pulling it a little bit more exaggerated. And that's because since that cord we just added isn't attached to this yet, if you don't, you can get gaps right there. Okay, and then we're just going to take this cord and we're going to do the final half hitch knot here. And then we're going to go to the other side. And we're going to pull this. It's going to be our leader cord this time around. And we're going to go over, under, and through. Oops, this got a little bit pulled out. Sorry about that, guys. Over, under, and through. Kind of seat the knot up. Do the second part of the double half hitch knot. And then this is where we're going to add the cord again. We're going to take the shorter 15-inch cord and we're going to put it on top of the cord, tuck the loop under. Nope, that's a regular, like I said, knot. Sorry. You're going to go under the cord, drop it over, and then pull the 2 cords through. Sorry about that. I have macrame for years and I still do that all the time. So if you find yourself doing that over and over again, it's totally normal. So, yeah. So now I'm going to take the next cord and I'm going to go over and under. You guys, we just have the one little girl left. That's who's howling in the background. Over, under, and through. So hold on. I'm going to go. Hopefully, if she doesn't quiet down, I'll go and give her like a little treat to chew on or something so she has something to do. Okay, and so then we've finished. See, this is the one pass. You see how you see that this is pointier? Whenever you add a cord, that is going to be almost impossible to keep from happening. But with the other, when you go on with the other cords, it kind of goes back into place. So then we'll pull the 6th or the third one on the left over. We're just going to grab onto the first cord, and that's going to be our working cord. Go ahead and put the other one up just to keep you from wanting to use it to knot. I have done this before, which there are some patterns that they have you do that in. I prefer not to do that because I like them to be connected the whole time. So pull the leader cord over. We're going to go over, under, and through. Over, under, and through. And now we're going to connect the 2 cords right here. And we're going to start using those. And we're going to go over, under, through. Seat the knot up, over, under, and through. Next cord, over, under, and through. Over, under, and through. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way up the side as you go. And I find this very meditative. I love knotting projects. Oh, that poor baby. She's breaking my heart. Let me go get her a goodie so she doesn't feel so left out. Just 1 second. I will be right back, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. Now all the babies have a snack. So that should keep them all busy. Okay, so we finished that side. We're going to come over and we're going to grab the cord and we're just going to do our half-inch knots on the other side. I thought she'd be okay because I took her outside, played with her a bunch right before I came on here so that I hoped she was going to take a nap. So hopefully she will now once she's done with her treat and she'll be good. But yeah, it breaks my heart. She has her daddy's poor pathetic little howl that he gets. But okay. Then we're going to take the last two cords and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the half-inch knots all the way down the one side on the left side, and then we'll go to the right side. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And the reason that I said and a half is because we're going to use half of a piece of cord for the large triangle motif, and then we're going to use the other half for a smaller triangle motif. And by doing that, it connects the bigger and smaller motifs together so that you don't have so they don't separate. They're not going to get bunched up, nothing like that. So everything will stay where it's supposed to be. Because if you didn't do that, then like I said, things can get bunched up, petals can get like this, and then you've got to steam them to get them to go out again. It's a whole process. So we're just going to go ahead and finish this. And just remember, this isn't done yet. This motif, the larger motif, isn't finished quite yet, but it will be shortly. So now we're going to move on and we're going to go to do the smaller motif. So in order to do that, we're just going to scooch that over out of the way. And then we're going to take a total of 4, but we're going to take 4. The first one that we're going to attach on, we want one side to be longer than the other. So you want at least a good 1.5 inches, if not 2-inch difference between these. And to attach it with the large side knot, we're going to slide the knot through the middle behind the ring, come up and over, and we're going to put that there, and we're just going to push it to the side because we're not going to use it right now. The reason we need this side to be longer than this side is because we're going to use this as a working cord for the last pass on here, and then we'll use the shorter one as the last pass on the smaller triangle motif. So that's how you get that. So then the next two, you're just going to attach those down behind the ring, up, bring the strands through. Same with the next one. And then when we put the 4th cord on, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it to where the outside strand is longer than the inside strand. And I'll actually leave this the way it is, move on to the other 6-inch, the other 6 cord part of the petal, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to connect the two motifs. So we're going to take the outside cord again, and we're going to cross it over. That's going to be our working cord, and we're going to do a 1/2 inch knot. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to pull it over. We're going to do a half hitch knot. And then we're going to close it up by grabbing the working cord for the other side and pulling it together. Okay. Then we're just going to push that to the side and we're going to leave it be. And I'm going to rotate the ring around and I'm going to keep all those cords over there so that they're out of my way and not bothering me. Now that there's cord on here, my little flag pins will hold it much better because now it's thicker right there and it's in between two cords. So that's why I really like the flag pins. But when I'm doing a big piece, I clamp it to the edge of my desk because otherwise I would be replacing the cords every other minute. Oh, come on. Where are the big ones? They're there. Okay. So we're just going to attach 6 cords, same way we did. You're going to grab the 2 ends, make sure that they're even. You're going to make a loop, drop it behind the ring, pull it up and pass the cords through the loop and put it right on there. Plus, then this doesn't move around. Again, behind the hoop, up, pull the strands through the loop. That's all there is to it. And once you get going on these guys, they're a lot of fun. And you basically add a cord the way we did on the third pass on the larger one. You literally do that just about every third cord. We're not going to do it in this instance, and that's only because the 6th pass is where we add one, and you add it not for the row of not the 6th cord. You're adding it for the next 2 or 3 cords. So we don't have to add on any cords for this, any other cords for this pattern because we are keeping the triangle smaller. But say I used 8 cords for the majority of it, then I would have to add another one on for like the 6th row. So we'll just pull those 2 to the side, keep them out of our way. We're going to cross it over into the middle and do a half hitch knot. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take the outside cord, cross it over, and do a double half hitch knot. And then we'll pull the working cord from over here. Oops. See, this is how I tighten if one half of it gets not. I just like to roll it with my thumb because then it's not pulling the cord tight. It is just seating it where I want it to be. Then we're going to pull over the second cord, pop that up if you need to keep it out of your way. And you're just going to continue to do double half hitch knots up the side. And it really is a very, very easy process. I know that there are more difficult patterns, but it's a lot of square knots, double half hitch knots. And then there's some specialty knots, but like there's the rosebud knot. All that is some square knots that you then roll up onto itself to make it look like a rosebud. So there's nothing difficult. This is our 3rd pass, guys. So this is where we're going to add a cord. As you can see, there's a gap between one cord to the next. So we'll just grab one of the shorter cords and we will attach it on with a reverse lark's head knot and pull it into place. Like I said, this is the one time, but again, instead of pulling this, I'm using my thumb to roll the knot into place. And then, like I said last time, this is where I will pull this at more of an exaggerated angle just to make sure that it's not noticeable or visible that you are keeping that this isn't attached to it quite yet. And then we'll do the last knot on this side and we'll go to the other side. And then once I finish this triangle, I can go ahead and show you how to connect them. After the first knot, we're going to add this. And the reason that I do it on the second knot, some people like to do it in the middle. Some people I like to do it the second knot because up here is where the edge is. That's when I pull my knot under and do other things. And I feel like the further away it is from the point, the less likely that it's going to buckle or be visible that cord isn't attached. And again, I just pull it at more of an exaggerated angle and then finish off this path. And again, I prefer a more rounded triangle appearance, so I pull under on the second knot. We're going to pull our cord over, and we're just going to continue these double half hitch knots up the left side. And then as soon as we're done with this triangle, I can do it. Oh yeah, unfortunately my craft door doesn't even close all the way. So all they have to do is push it to get it to come open. But that's why I gave them all treats. That way they were also occupied. I am surprised that a couple didn't bring their treats in here. But yeah. If anybody ever knocks on the door while we're on live, you will most certainly hear them because then they like to howl all together. We call it singing. And anytime we leave the house, they begin to howl to see if we are actually leaving. Because if we're not leaving and we're just outside doing something, then we open the door and tell them no bark. So it's just a matter of they're just checking. Did they really leave? I don't know. But yes, exactly, Kim. It is very relaxing once you get the hang of it. I like to turn on one of my favorite podcasts or a favorite TV show, something, and just zone out and not. Or turn my music on. It is a great stress reliever. Because you just kind of get lost in the knots, and then as long as nobody bothers you, you just keep going. And in the end, you have a beautiful piece that you can keep for yourself, add to your home decor, things like that. Or they're great gifts, and they're quick and easy gifts. Once we get a little bit further, I'm going to, I took one of the wood rounds. Well, I didn't. I had Steve. He took one of the wood rounds and I had him cut it in half. And I'm going to just do some long rows of square knots, and I'm going to glue them in between the two, paint a rainbow, and that will be, put some little clippies on it, and that will be for Selena's room to help her to hang up all of her little bows and hair stuff like that. I found some little clips that have a little hook, and then there's a clip on it. No, well, it does if they're trained, but even mine don't always listen. The little neurotic multipoo is, you can tell him no bark 100 times and it doesn't do any good. So it drives me nuts. But the rest of them are pretty good. Just like if they're outside and barking at something and I say no bark inside, they come inside. But okay, we're going to add the 2 shorter cords now, making the inside cord longer than the outside cord. And then I'm going to show you how to connect the 2 motifs. And then we can go over it. And if anybody has any questions, we can go through them and I can answer any questions you might have. So all we're going to do is we're going to slide this ring back around. So I got to pull the flag up so it doesn't snag my cord, because that would be annoying. And we're going to pull it over. Yes, I didn't need that one. And I'm going to show you how to finish. So we're going to start on the large motif. And all you're going to do is you're going to grab your cords from this side and you're going to do a pass. Obviously, I won't be able to finish this completely because I don't have the other side. I don't have, actually, let me do that first. I'm going to go ahead and add this cord over here. That's what I should have done. So I can show you the completed thing. Because if you don't start on the left-hand side, it doesn't work as well. So we're just going to take the inside cord. We're going to use it as our working cord. Like I said, if we were doing more rows than this, we would add another one. Obviously, there's going to be leftover cords. Anything over 4 inches, keep, because I'm going to teach you guys some scrap cord ideas as we get further into the macrame series. But we're just going to go up with the 1/2 inch knot here. I can teach you how to make feathers and or leaves. All depends on how you cut them, whether it's a feather or a leaf. So, but it's the same process. That's the great thing about macrame, is you're basically doing a bunch of the same knots, just in different ways, so that and so that you come up with different results each time. Just much like wire work, I'm just wrapping with cotton cord and not wire. Kim, I get my rings from Hobby Lobby. From Amazon. With that being said, until you're sure that this is something you want to dive into, and I was going to go over this at the end, but we can talk about it now. I would recommend getting a couple of hoops from your local craft store, whether it be Joann's before they close, whatever. I like Hobby Lobby. Their gold rings are not quite as brassy looking as some of them. Plus, they have a whole bunch of sizes, and they also have some wooden ones as well, which are great for bigger projects that you need something more substantial to hang on to. So that's all it is. And don't forget, if you like the more rounded petal look rather than the really steep triangle, just pull it tight underneath it. So now we're going to use the shorter of the 2 cords, and we're just going to complete a pass up the side of the smaller one. And then we'll get to the other side and do the same thing. Okay. There you go. If I do this other one really quick, I'll just do the one side just so I can show you what it looks like completed. That's enough of that side for now. Take the inside cord and use it as the working cord for the smaller one. Did I just do what I think I did? Yes, I did. I think. I don't know. I thought I used, no, you connected that one already. Sorry. I thought I grabbed that outside of that cord, forgetting I had already started doing that pass on the other large triangle. But you're just gonna, it really is very simple. And then once you get going, you guys, the possibilities are endless. You can literally, now you'll see. Oh no, I did do it. No. Anyways, you'll see that these can't be pulled apart now because this cord is holding them in place. And so it works. And then, like I said, I get mirrors. The one I'm showing is obviously way too big for this. I was going to use a bigger round. And then, like I said, I got started and I was like, there's no way that if I kept going, you see all these cords, they would have been everywhere for the whole thing. And it would have been hard to video and hard for you to see. But I like to, here, let me turn around or just swap out the cameras and show you because I have that one so zoomed in so you guys can see that it's hard. These are cheaper. They're not glass mirrors. They're acrylic mirrors. They still work very nice, especially if it's not a mirror that you want to use. But Amazon has some amazing, really thick mirrors, glass mirrors that actually it has like a little beveled edge on it that are really beautiful. So first I glue the mirror to the board and then I glue this with hot glue down. The bigger it gets, then that's when you want to mix in and do both epoxy and hot glue at the same time. Put the epoxy on, also put on the hot glue. The hot glue will hold the mirror in place until the epoxy has dried. And then once that's dried, you can go and put your piece over the top. I had a finished mirror right here that I was going to show you guys. And I'm not sure where it ended up, and it ends up being a very nice piece. I can post a link or post a photo in the Campbell Creations Facebook group. There's also a group that Brandy started called Crafting Besties. I've linked both of the Facebook groups in the description below this video. But I hope that you guys really have a lot of fun and enjoy doing this as much as I do. It's such an amazing thing to have. Like I said, you add in, you just take it down to a smaller point. Oh, also, once you're finished and you're all done with your entire project, then the choice is up to you. You can either leave the cords on and cut it to your desired fridge length, or you cut them short and then I wrap them behind and glue them down. And then I will put a piece of felt over the top so that the cords don't pull up at any point in time. If you leave fringe on, I'll tell you now, it's going to sound a little, yes, embroider hoops do work. Actually, you can buy bamboo hoops on Amazon that they have a really great set that is a bunch of different size rings. And then there are also just short wood dowels that then you could just do projects on. And you would think that this was difficult. It took me years to get to this point, you guys. It really didn't. I'm not joking. I did this about 8 months in to beginning macrame. And it was just a matter of following a good tutorial and going and just being okay with having to undo it, you guys. And I'll give you a couple of pointers as far as cording goes. This cording that I use today, it is what's called single strand. So it is just a bunch of tiny cords that are strung together. These are much easier to brush out when you get finished with your project. And so for that point, it's good. You also have cording like this, and it is thicker, but it is multiple strands that are also spun together. When I use those, I tape off the ends because if you, especially if you're doing a big piece like this, where this is like you start with a 90-inch long cord, by the time you get to the bottom, they're all getting tangled. They're wrapping around each other. It's just a mess. So this is multiply. This is a 2-cord twist. They have three strand twists and single cord twists. I get this cording from Bochi Knot. It's a Canada-based company. This is organic cotton cord. I really, really, really like this cord. They have other cord lines. Their rainbow cord line is all the colors under the sun. They even have some cords that are more than one color. So they have really good quality cord is what I'm saying. And they have it in bamboo and cotton and Egyptian cotton, which is very expensive, but you get like spool that's only like this big around for the same price. You would get one of the foundation cord rows for. This one I've already used about half of it. This is 4mm strand, and it's like I think the 4mm is 45 and the 3mm is like $40, which it's a great way to start, but they have so many bright colors, you guys, that I just love. They have 2 cords. They have the natural, and then they put a piece of gold tinsel through it, which can look really pretty. I will forewarn you again, when I use that cording, I tape the ends as well. Otherwise, that tinsel, as the cords start coming out the twist, the further you get into a project, they can be a little annoying. But they have beautiful colors, you guys. I mean, they're just stunning. I love them. They're nice and rich and vibrant, and they're great. And if any of you guys saw the different the bead mat that I made for Brandy in the last video over on Campbell Creations, those are just 2 different colors of their rainbow cord line, which is, again, it's recycled cord, recycled cotton that they make the cord with. But when I'm gluing down, I use a basting spray, and then I push the cords down. And then once that's done, then that's when I hot glue the pieces of felt to the back of them to keep them in place. And it's so much fun. You can do so many different things. And I kind of got away from doing it for a while, just because crocheting and macrame started to hurt my hands. And it was extremely painful. I went from crochet to macrame. and it just got to be too much. And I had made jewelry off and on throughout the years, just really quick things, nothing fancy, nothing like that. And then so I started doing it, and it didn't make any sense to me why I was basically using like your rolling loops, you're making links, you're whatever, you're using a lot of the same hand motions. And not to get too churchy, but I believe that God did that to lead me to the jewelry community, because about 6 months after I started making jewelry and was really getting more involved into the jewelry community, I lost my aunt, and then I lost my mom, and then I lost two of my siblings, then I lost my dad, then I lost my brother-in-law. I also, during that time, is when I was diagnosed with Thurkham's disease and was finding out that, I had this very rare progressive disease, and I don't know what I would have done without the jewelry community. You guys saved me. I am not exaggerating. I don't think that I would be putting one foot in front of the other, that I would be leaving my house, that I would be socializing again. I'm traveling again. I'm just doing stuff that I wasn't doing. And it was the jewelry world that pulled me out of it. It was, you guys checked on me, you guys reached out, you guys did so much to help me. And about a year ago, I decided that I was going to try to crochet again, and I could do it. No problem. Made an entire baby blanket, no problem. And so then I wanted to make Miss Brandy something special. She sent me different stones and things, and she's also been an amazing friend to me. And I wanted to make her something special, and she had just started her channel. And so I thought it would be cool if she had like a bead mat that was all her own. And so that's what I did. I made her the bead mat, and you guys had already been asking me to do more knotting projects. And so it was I was like, oh, that'll work. But then Amy and I got to talking, and we weren't sure how we were going to share both things. Plus, especially like this time of month, she has unboxing, and she's got to do so many tutorials for each of those boxes and all of that kind of stuff, that it just didn't make as much sense. So that's when I said, okay, well, I'm going to move the macrame and maybe even still do some jewelry projects on this channel. But that way it wasn't taking up as much space. This time of the month, when there's so many unboxings coming out and there's this or it's that, we would be putting out videos on the same day, and you guys would have been missing. You guys could have missed some of them. And so it just made more sense to make the move over here. So it was great. Oh yeah. You made a hanging glass table. Wow. Yeah. You can literally make baby bassinets. You can make baby swings. There are so many different projects that you can use macrame for. I've made plant hangers too, and these are so easy, you guys. I have a board because when I was really into macrame for a while, I toyed with the idea of doing YouTube for a while. And so my lovely husband went and he brought me home a piece of plywood. And instead of buying foam from the craft store, because that was ridiculously expensive, I found an egg crate type mattress pad, And I bought that and I cut it in half and we pasted it to the board and then I wrapped it in fabric. And that's what I was going to teach on. So it could be pointed at the board and I wouldn't have to like have it in my lap or whatever. So we'll be doing that. But yeah. So, oh, thanks, Kim. Oh, good. Glad you could join us, Fran. I appreciate it. So we'll get it going. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content here. If there's anything specific that you guys want to, that you want some help figuring out how to do, if it's something within my wheelhouse, I am more than willing to do so. And like I said, I like going live. I like the conversation aspect of it. I like being able to answer questions as it's going. So it's great. Oh yeah, Rose, I have the same thing. I'll give you a little hint. I like to use clothing racks because they are an adjustable height one. Because I could sit in a chair and slowly move it up as I worked. And there were some that it would get to the point that I'd have to hang it over the top of the clothing rack so that I could get to the bottom of it. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Kim. I appreciate that. Yeah. And it was Macrame that made, like, when I delved into jewelry, my teacher was Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. I literally watched every single one of her videos. And I could still use macrame, just like with my breeding. I was in human resources. I use those interviewing skills to interview any potential puppy parents so that I make sure I'm putting my puppies into homes where they're going to be loved. My photography, I couldn't do it anymore. I love doing the little photo shoots with the puppies. So I've just found ways to tweak things that my physical disabilities started to limit so that I didn't lose them altogether. And that's what I would just recommend doing is just there. If you look, you're going to be able to find something that you can change the skills you already have and then let them grow. So yeah, Rosanna, don't get on a chair anymore. Get an adjustable garment rack. I promise it makes it great. I have made ones that are like, I think my largest was 8 feet wide and it was probably at least 4 foot long. So I made that for my doctor's office and I just used the colors of his logo and I made a really large one. And so I did that for them one Christmas and it's still hanging in his office. So, but yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm so glad that we could join. I'll be on later for the Wednesday wind down on the Camel's Creation channel. Eventually we might stream them to both channels, but right now we're doing this. I'm doing this on my channel and we'll just go from there. Thanks all for being here. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate that you guys showed up. If you know anybody else looking for something to do and maybe they're not into jewelry, this might be a good fit for them. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. So yeah. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry about that. It's interesting that so many of us in the jewelry, crafting, whatever world have physical disabilities and deal with pain. And like I've said many times before, working on a piece of jewelry or working on a macrame project lets me focus on something other than my pain. And then I just set alarms for when it's time for me to take my meds. Whereas before, it didn't matter what I was watching or what I was trying to do, that I wasn't doing something. I was constantly staring at the clock. And so now I have to set reminder alarms so that I make sure I actually did take my meds and didn't go, oh, I'm going to finish this first and forget, because I've done that. So have a great day, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you guys later this evening. Bye-bye.